The PBA was founded around 65 years ago, so naturally there have been a whole variety of bowling records that have been set. Many of these have been broken over the years, but some have stood the test of time. There's some downright impressive records that demonstrate the pure skill and talent of certain professional bowlers, and although I do believe that records are made to be broken, some of these will be hard to break. In this video, we're going to look at what I think are some of the most impressive PBA records and look at when the record was set, who set them, and discuss whether or not they will be broken. Now, just so you all know, I found these records on the PBA website, although the date is listed as March 2020, and I couldn't seem to find any recent updated records. As far as I'm aware, the records I have chosen are accurate and have not been broken in the last 3 years, but as this was the most up-to-date records I could find on the PBA website, they will have to do. So let's start with number 1, the most consecutive number of 200 games. This record is held by Mike Scroggins, who bowled 79 consecutive 200 games over 2 tournaments in 2005. I think this is an incredibly impressive record because it highlights a key skill, and that is consistency. I wonder if Mike realised at the time how high his 200 streak was getting, or perhaps he was just in the zone and didn't pay it much attention until after the record was set. But I really like this record because it took place over 2 tournaments, so it wasn't just a player getting hot during one event. Mike Scroggins managed to carry this form over to the next tournament. Now, could this record be broken? Well, it's a tricky one to call because it's quite an odd record, and 79 consecutive 200s is a lot, and realistically for anyone to beat this, they would have to do it over 2 tournaments, just like Mike did. This record has now stood for 23 years, which shows how tough it is to be this consistent. One bad game and that's it. I'd be curious to know what the record was before Scroggins broke it, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say that this record will not be broken. Number 2, the highest 9-game block. This record is held by Eugene McCune, and it was set in the 2010 Cheetah Championship. He shot a total of 2,468 pins for the 9-game block, which works out as a 274 average. This is an absolutely insane score over 9 games, and it's one that I think will be incredibly tough to beat. If it was over 5 or 6 games, then I think this record will be broken because players can get hot over a period of 5 or 6 games, but to average 270 plus over 9 is an incredible feat. I can't see this being broken anytime soon because all it takes is one slightly lower game, and also I'm not sure how frequent 9-game blocks are in the PBA currently, so obviously this will play a factor in the likelihood of it being broken. If you're interested in finding out more about Eugene McCune, his record that he set, and his absolutely dominant run throughout this Cheetah Championship, then I actually did a video not too long ago detailing his entire run throughout the tournament, and I also broke down the title match as well. So if you're interested in that, then just click the little link above to watch the video. And on top of this 9-game record, McCune also holds the record for the highest ever 14-game block with a total of 3,647 pins, which works out an average of 260, but this was actually set back in 2005. And again, to average 260 over 14 games really does take some doing. Number 3, the most 300 games. The record for the most PBA 300 games is currently held by Parker Bohn III, who's bowled 114 perfect games on the PBA. Now, this record includes all PBA events as well as regionals and the PBA Senior Tour too. Now, this is based off the PBA's records, which, as I mentioned, are dated March 2020. Now, Walter Ray was close behind with 110 300 games as of 2019, so it's possible that Walter may have surpassed this, and it's also possible that Parker could have added to his tally too. So who knows if Parker actually has the record. I did try and do a bit of research, but I couldn't find anything recent about this record. As far as I know, Parker still has it, but I did find something else interesting, and that was the person to roll the most 300s. And if you look online, you'll see there's articles stating that Pharaoh Williams owns this record with 135 perfect games. But when you go onto the USBC website and look at the records, this seems to be out of date. The records are currently up to date until the 2020-2021 season, and Pharaoh Williams is actually third on this list with 188 perfect games. The man with the most is Andrew Neuer with 267, And if you thought that 267 300 games is insane, wait until you hear how many 800 series he has. Andrew has a total of 287 800 series. Simply mind-boggling, but actually the 300 game record could end up being beaten, believe it or not, because Jim Hosier is in second place with 225, so he's not too far behind. I don't know how old these guys are, but if Jim is a lot younger than Andrew, then perhaps he will end up surpassing this record. Also, Jim has a pretty impressive 800 series total with 176. Number 4, the highest first place margin. This record was set by Dave Davis in 1980, and after 42 games including match play, Davis blew the field away, finishing in first place by a staggering 770 pins. I love this record because it demonstrates dominance over your competitors, and it just shows how relentless and on fire Davis was throughout the entire tournament. The closest person that I can think of that got close to this record was EJ Tackett, when he finished 502 pins ahead of second place at the 2022 US Open. We've seen EJ blow away the field in similar fashion during 2023, so you would say he could be the player with the best chance to eclipse this record given how dominant he's been, but even so, 770 pins is such a margin that I don't believe this record will ever be beaten. Number 5, Walter Ray's TV records. Our final entry on today's list comes from the man with the most PBA titles of all time, so it's no surprise he holds a number of TV records too. Nonetheless, these are all very impressive, and I can't see these being beaten anytime soon. Walter has the record for the most TV appearances in a career with 185, the most TV match wins in single events, which is 153, and the most consecutive seasons with at least one TV appearance, which is 26 seasons. These records are just a testament to how he was able to have such a long career, where not only did he continue to just bowl well, he actually dominated the tour well into his late 40s. And all three of these TV records really do demonstrate this. And that will be it for today's video. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'd love to hear from you in the comment section below. Let me know which of these records you think is most impressive, and also if you think there's any other PBA bowling records that should be in this list. Let me know in the comment section below. And as always, if you have enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate it if you would just click the subscribe button below. That will be it for today. Thank you, bowling fans, and see you all next time.